Welcome back. We have some pretty big news about the XRP case. Is it going to be over soon? So we've got a big update with that. We also have some news about the XRP and Solana ETFs. And then Coinbase actually made a pretty big announcement yesterday. Actually 4 big announcements yesterday. So we're going to go ahead and talk about that. And shout out to all the O Army members. This is Friday. Happy Friday. I'm so excited today. I don't know if this is just when you have kids, but like Fridays are fun for us. Also, this is Lo's Labubu. Her dad got it for her. Gonna probably put it on my Gucci bag for fun. And no, it's not a brand new Gucci bag. It was thrifted. It is vintage. And I get these for very, very good prices, maybe like once a year. Anyways, this is Lo's Labubu, but I want to take it. But shout out to everybody watching. Shout out to my Twitch babes, my TikTok babes, my Rumble babes, and of course my YouTube babes. Let's give a big shout out to all the channel members. Good morning to Mixing, to Dale, to John Legend, to Mr. John Germain. Who else? All right, let's get into it. There's a lot of stuff. A lot of stuff happening, okay? And you guys know I got ADHD, so we got to talk about it. Okay, hold on a second. There's this. All right, let's cover this story first because this one's exciting. Then we'll cover about the XRP. We'll cover about the XRP case, okay? All right, so this comes from Mr. Nate Garassi. He's an ETF guy, but he says, by the way, I still fully expect BlackRock to file for a spot Solana and XRP ETF. As leader in both spot and Bitcoin and Ethereum ETFs, it would make zero sense to secede other top crypto asset ETF categories to competitors. Related, I also fully expect BlackRock to file for index-based crypto asset ETF. I agree with him. 100%. I also think that we're going to see a lot of the top crypto ETFs that are a lot of the on CoinMarketCap, you can search for the made in the USA stuff. When we see stuff that's made in the USA, then you can go ahead and do a quick Google search. Is there somebody that's applying for this ETF? If it is, you want to go ahead and mark it on your watch list just so that you can pay attention to what these projects are doing. I think we're going to see this for Solana, for XRP, for Hedera, for Link, and anything else that is Litecoin, Dogecoin. Anything that's currently up for an ETF. So this is good news and positive, but this does segue into our story about the Ripple case. Because remember, the Ripple case is not over yet. We do have a pro crypto SEC. We've got some stories about that, which is very important because it's going to help with this case. But the Ripple versus SEC case is not over yet. It is getting close to being a little bit over, but not quite yet. And again, this is going to be important because we are not going to get any type of ETFs unless this thing is over, in my personal opinion. What did I do with it? Is it here? Why, I lost it. I don't know what I did with it. Sometimes I forget to open articles because we get super busy and stuff like that, okay? Let me see. Did I forget? Did I download the wrong one? Huh. Oh, here we go. Let's go and just open it from here because I don't know where the hee-haw is. Yeah, there we go. Yeah. All right. So this is an update with the SEC versus Ripple case. It is not yet over. We are getting close. So I'm going to read you the entire thing. So hold on to your chonies. And also make sure to smash like and drop a comment because I read all the comments. I don't respond to all the comments, but I do read all the comments. So the SEC and Ripple filed a joint motion to dissolve the injunction and release $125 million held in escrow. So remember, Ripple was ordered to pay a fine. It was put in escrow, and they are now deciding that you don't owe all of that money for the fine, so we're going to give you some back. So the positive thing here is Ripple and SEC are working together to get this thing over. The proposal splits funds, $50 million to the SEC, $75 million returned to Ripple, which again, I know it's a lot of money, but at the end of the day, I think they did get in a teeny tiny bit of trouble the way that they were doing their token sales to institutions, but who cares? No one really had any type of direction on what to do. So again, I don't fault them for that, but whatever, $50 million to just go away and continue to do business in America, cool, fine, fantastic. That's the way the legal system works, unfortunately. The motion cites exceptional circumstance and changing regulatory attitudes at the SEC. That line right there is outstanding. The motion cites exceptional circumstances and changing regulatory attitudes at the SEC. I don't think some of you know how big this is. The fact that we just had a change of leadership and everything is changing now. We used to be in this really volatile, yucky environment in regards to crypto, which makes no sense because all of these top companies in crypto just wanted guidance. Like, hey, we want to know what we can do. We're willing to pay taxes. We're willing to operate within the constraints of the law. Just tell us what to do. And now they're able to actually work with the same entity that went after them and say, hey, we're working together. Let's get this over with. Because their goal is to settle the appeals to avoid further litigation. Judge Schwartz did reject a similar request in May, but hey, we are getting there. We are getting there. I think I'm going to cover the other SEC stuff with you guys right now because this is all important for the rest of crypto. We'll just get it out of the way. And then we'll do charts and then we'll talk about the Coinbase thing because the Coinbase thing is really important. Even though I criticize Coinbase a lot, I'm going to talk about that. So let's go ahead and talk. And like, this is the attorney from Coinbase. And I appreciate everything that Coinbase has done for the entire crypto industry. I just want to see them do more. So the SEC officially scrapped the expanded custody proposal in Rule 3B16 plus other Gensler-era rules. So the SEC rescinded the expanded custody proposal, proposed broader custody requirements, including crypto, and those have been scrapped. So basically, it's a lot easier to custody your crypto, a lot easier than it was before. This rule targeted DeFi platforms and security exchanges, and that was dropped. SEC also withdrew proposed enhanced ESG disclosure rules for public companies. Good, because what the hell does crypto have to do with the environment? And these are all key parts of Gensler-era regulatory push. So a couple things I want to say. So a couple of things that I want to say about that, and somebody's like, when do you repeat yourself? Blah, blah, blah. I got kids. What the heck do you think I spend most of my day doing, repeating myself 69,000 times? So basically, Gary Gensler was a terrible leader. He was trying to put frivolous types of barriers to entry for crypto companies, and they're gone. How stupid is that? Seriously, how stupid is that? They're all these things that they're getting rid of, the attack on DeFi and the attack on custody requirements, they're getting rid of it. Because it was all Gary Gensler crap. It was all because he wanted to halt the industry, and this impacted XRP. This impacted the entire crypto industry and Bitcoin. Okay, and Bitcoin. Now the next story, and if you don't like commercials, you should check a look at Brave browser. SEC adds officials with crypto experience as part of leadership overhaul. They announced a new slew of hires Friday morning, with Jamie Selway and Brian Daly bringing more crypto ties to the agency. Since officially taking over the agency in April, SEC Chair Paul Atkins has promised friendlier approach to digital assets. Daly will take over as Director of Investment Management. Selway will become Director of Trading and Markets. And Daly is an expert in crypto, blockchain, and TradFi. And Daly also criticized previous blue error custody rules as barriers for banks. And you know what? I absolutely love to see it. I love to see it. Why do we love to see this? Well, because why do you want to overregulate something? We've seen how overregulation, what it does. It's not good. It's not good for anybody. So this is bullish and this is positive. And again, this is building a solid foundation. Gary Gensler will never be held accountable for anything. That's how the public servants work. And that's why you shouldn't be worshiping any public servants. It's okay to agree with one more than the other, but at the end of the day, they're still humans. Okay, now let's do a quick market update. So unfortunately, there's been some really bad geopolitical news that was announced. And I just want to say, that's absolutely terrible, and I rock with all the innocents, people, and especially the babies. So unfortunately, the markets are not doing great right now because there's a lot of geopolitical uncertainty. With that set aside, we kind of knew that a lot of this was going to happen, and it's just unfortunate. But we are here to talk about crypto. Taking a look at the daily, we're not looking super great. And when we do take a look at Bitcoin, Bitcoin did drop. I think the dip was 103,000. Yeah, we dropped to about 102, depending on what platform you look at. But again, we tapped right on our support area over here, which is absolutely wonderful. And it does look like we may potentially tap against it again. If we get any negative announcements this weekend, which there's some crazy stuff going on tomorrow, I would expect things to nuke again. So have your limit order set, do your dollar cost out, whatever it is you want to do, be cautious. Because if we lose support of 102,000, we've got this whole area, the range of heck that we were consolidating from November 2024 to February 2025. So right now it's not looking really great. Ethereum's also suffering as well, which stinks because we got up to about $2,800, and now we got a swing look low of 2,400. So everything's pretty much holding on to support from what we see. Solana and Ethereum are kind of mimicking each other. Sui got a little bit more to drop. XRP already dropped below. We're consolidating between 222 and 203. Link is at Link hopefully we sustain at 1289, but it's looking to drop as well. Cardano, we're in this consolidation range, 67 cents to about 58 cents. And HBAR, what's going on with my HBAR chart, honey? HBAR looks like we are going to go down a little bit further and possibly test 15 to 11 cents. So what are my thoughts about the current market? Well, guess what? Smash a like and buy the dip. My daughter does the face. But yeah, that's what I would do. I've got some capital on standby. I'm just kind of watching at this point. We're really just kind of watching. So that's unfortunately happening with the market, but let's go and talk about the Coinbase news. And I know you guys are not the biggest Coinbase fans. I've been a heavy critic of them, but I do appreciate everything they've done in, for crypto in America to an extent. Now over here, this is the Coinbase story. So Coinbase launched CFTC compliant perpetual futures trading in the US. They recently launched 24/7 futures trading, and we'll go over what futures are really quickly. So regular futures have an expiry date and settle on that date. Perps have no expiry date and can stay open infinitely unless you get like liquidated or something like that. And perps use a funding fee to keep prices close to the spot market. Again, I believe this will just be for accredited investors, not retail. The article doesn't say, but I'm going to assume and make a behind out of myself and fact check me on this one. And that's my big criticism for Coinbase, is that they don't care about retail. They don't advocate for retail. The accredited investor law is one of the most predatory laws in America, because all it does is just creates a wealth gap. So I don't rock with them on that. But I do appreciate that they're bringing things to America and continue to push. Now, this next story, this is from Aerodrome. We will be integrating DEXs from Base directly to the main Coinbase app, enabling Coinbase users to access and trade millions of assets on chain. They claim that they are the best in class trading execution, will soon be coming to millions of Coinbase users. So this story I kind of do like. I do like to do things on chain instead of having to use a centralized exchange. We don't like centralized exchanges. We don't want to use them. But at the same time, there's not a lot of people that are going to be using that use Base, really. I mean, as part of the Ethereum ecosystem, essentially, they don't have a token, which I love about it. But a lot of people are not happy with Coinbase. But I still think it's cool. So hopefully Coinbase is going to be able to get some of their market share back. I know they're supposed to improve customer service, which should have been done years and years ago. So that's good. That's good. The next over here is the Coinbase One Card. Basically, apparently you get to earn up to 4% Bitcoin back on every purchase, and it is powered by American Express. Again, this American Express is more for people of a higher wealth class in America, because they have a fee to get most of their cards, I believe. So it's kind of like, again, I do appreciate what Coinbase has done in the United States of America, but my issue is they don't really care about retail, and I get maybe they just want to have a higher clientele. So bring your business elsewhere, go to Kraken or crypto.com. I love the crypto.com card. I do. I don't think Kraken has one yet, but yeah. But the cool thing about having that card and expanding their ecosystem is this story over here. So the Shopify team teams up with Coinbase and Stripe in USDC stablecoin payments push. So shoppers will be able to pay with USDC on Base in 34 countries, which just makes sense why they created this partnership over here with this trading platform. That makes sense with Base, is because they're working on expanding the Base ecosystem. And I think Coinbase did a really great job of creating their own chain without a coin. I know Kraken's going to be doing the same. Crypto.com has it. So I love that they're doing that. I think it's cool. So this is a cool story. I'm pretty happy for them on this. You can use USDC on Base in 34 countries. We love it. We love to see it. And then this story over here. Well, no, this is a separate one over here. So that's what's going on with Coinbase. I think it's super cool. But at the same time, I wish they would speak up a little bit more for retail. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. Now let's talk a little bit about stablecoins. Oh, by the way, with the GENIUS Act, we should know Tuesday what's going to happen, if it's the law, if they're going to approve it or deny it. Now, the Senate will vote on the final passage of the GENIUS Act Tuesday. The time is TBD. Now, Walmart and Amazon, this is a big story over here. So apparently they consider issuing US dollar-backed stablecoins. These two multinational companies are considering to launch stablecoins, and such plans reportedly depend on regulatory clarity around fiat-pegged current cryptocurrencies in the USA. That makes sense. Now we're waiting for the GENIUS Act. Once the GENIUS Act is all sorted, then we'll get a little bit more clarity what's going to happen. And this is the thing. If these companies, if they launch their own stablecoin, I don't really have an issue with it because they have gift cards and you have to use the gift cards within that ecosystem anyway. So to me, it would just be like, unless you're going to be interoperable with other stores and whatnot, but I don't really have an issue with it. It's just going to be like a gift card. So I don't know. I think it's kind of cool and maybe it'll cut costs down for them to use stable coins instead of the gift cards. I don't know. I haven't looked into the costs in that. So, but basically it's just bringing more liquidity to the crypto ecosystem, depending on what chain they're deciding to use for it and whatnot. So that's just positive moving forward. Now, this is just from my buddies over at Altcoin Daily. I think it's really funny that they posted this. So I wanted to share it with you.
Well, if Bitcoin will become the ultimate type of a form of the currency been adopted by human society, I can tell exactly what's going to happen as the worst scenario or the must scenario. We're all going to die.
That was the joke of the day. That was a joke of the day. Who says that? But no, I think basically what he's trying to say is that Bitcoin's not going to be good for the world, but Bitcoin's never going to be, like, I know Brian Armstrong likes to say it's going to be a national reserve currency or whatever. Bitcoin's not. Bitcoin is going to be a store of value. That's what we're seeing happen with it. It's going to be an investment. We're going to have stable coins and whatnot, but I just thought that was really ridiculous. Next, Bitcoin miners just had one of their best quarters on record, JP Morgan says, which is freaking funny because JP Morgan doesn't like crypto. But they said that Q1 was one of the best quarters ever for U.S. listed Bitcoin miners per JP Morgan. 4 of 5 miners tracked reported record revenue and profits. Mara Holdings mined the most Bitcoin for the 9th consecutive quarter. Iron earned the highest gross profit for the first time, and estimated spending on power was $1.8 billion, up $50 million from Q4 of 2025. So we're just seeing that I know that Bitcoin transaction was really low, but I guess the cost to mine now is a lot higher because because of the halving. John Germain can answer any of your questions about Bitcoin mining, but we're moving forward. We're moving forward a little bit. So, do I want to talk about this? I'll talk about that in the second video. So, Cardano Charles H suggests swapping 100 million of ADA for Bitcoin and stablecoins. So the proposal appears to be at odds with previous comments from the Cardano Foundation CEO. So let's see what Mr. Charles has got to say about it, okay? So apparently he just wants to convert 100 million worth of ADA from the treasury into Bitcoin and stables. The goal is to increase stablecoin issuance and DeFi TVL ratio. Okay. He dismissed concerns that selling would impact price, and the Cardano Foundation TVL is currently at 356 million. That's a lot, though. That's a lot. 31 million stablecoins currently on chain. Solana has 9.8 billion TVL and 11 billion in stables. Yeah, they're going to have to ante that up, but they don't really have a lot of TVL. Charles H also says the lack of stablecoins is hurting Cardano and wants to generate non-inflationary revenue. Okay, if Charles says so and the Cardano community supports it, I'm with it. Now we've got some big news for Hedera. Okay, and I've also got some ETF news. So Hedera, they went to Capitol Hill. They had remarks by Bill Miller, Jeff Clark, to panels with Kim, Rep Gabe, Ruben. Shout out to Mr. Charles Atkins from the Hedera Foundation. Woo! And Mance, who is the co-founder of Hedera and chair of HGraph, because they explored policy, the opportunity for U.S. leadership in the space, and the future of AI and DLT with Dr. Lee. I want to just say it calmly. Limon. I want to say Mr. Lee. And experts from the Milken Institute and IIF. So if you want to learn more about Hedera's public policy, you can do so. But I think it's really cool that we have a lot of people, that we have quite a few people that are representing with public servants. I think it's good. I think we need to do it. It's good. So I like it. I like that the HBAR is doing that. It's important. Also, the foundation. Breaking U.S. delays VanEck spot ETF, avalanche spot ETF. Yeah, we knew that was happening. Also, upcoming digital asset spot ETF decisions and their 2025 approval odds per Bloomberg. So basically, everyone thinks a lot like Litecoin, Solana, XRP, Dogecoin, Cardano, Polkadot, HBAR, Avalanche, Sui, and Tron. But basically, this chart over here is pretty cool, and it lets you know the firms that have filed for these S1s, for these spot ETFs, the first date, if it's acknowledged, and the final deadline. I think they're all going to get approved. I think they will all get approved probably closer to October, in my personal opinion. So we like this. It's good. It's moving the industry forward. I know a lot of y'all are bored, but hey, it is what it is. And we got this story over here with Invesco Galaxy, sole ETF registered in Delaware. Again, we are going to get a lot of these approved. It's just going to take time. And we don't know what the process the SEC is going to use. Are they going to use first in, first out, or what's going on? So I don't know. But anyways, that's the show today. I got to make more content, and Lo and I got a girls' day. But thank you guys so much for watching. I'll be live again tomorrow at 10 a.m., and I've got other media coming for you.